to start this three-part speech by telling you the history of Interact, how Interact started from a mere desk to an empire. Okay, how it all started. Why did I choose this line of business in the beginning? My father was working with CCC as a superintendent for fabrication, welding, and all this. And he planted in my mind welding, fabrication, metallurgy, and all these things. And he encouraged me to go to England and get welding engineering, metallurgy, and welding inspector. So I used to come in the summer from England for 3 months to work with my father, to make some money, of course. And I used to get training in the workshop, fabrication, different type of welding. And I used to meet different type of inspectors. At that time, in the 70s, all KOC inspectors were British. And I started mingling with the British guys. You know, everybody's afraid from the inspector when they come to the site and to inspect the welding and to see the radiographs and all these things. So I started asking them, how can I become an inspector? They start giving me advice. You have to go to the welding institute, you have to get these type of courses and get this examination and get your ticket. So finally, I finished England, the welding engineering and the metallurgy, and I went to the welding institute for 6 months. And during that time, I became good friends with a company called OIS, which were working in Kuwait with KOC. And I went to OIS for 3 months. I got also intensive training in their school. It was run by somebody called Roger Lumber. He's very famous in Saudi Arabia. It was a company called Fairgo or something. He was the head of the NDT department. So anyway, I came back to Kuwait. I worked with CCC for 3-4 months. I was not happy. I left. And then suddenly I met by a chance the first guy, Ahmed al-Sanausi, who was a lawyer, and he was thinking to do an inspection company because he was a lawyer for so many international companies. So he knew something about inspection. So I convinced him and I started with him. He gave me a room with an empty desk, a typewriter, a pen, and a writing pad. And of course, a salary and a car and everything. So to make money for the company, I was alone. I started, because I had the C-suite ticket at that time, it was very important to have a C-suite. The first maybe Arabic guy in the Middle East who has a welding inspector C-suite 3.1. And I started hiring myself to the companies like CCC, CAFCO, Kirby, and all these companies, and making for the company around 3,000-4,000 KD for the company, not for my pocket, okay? And after 3-4 months, I hired a secretary to do the typing because I was doing everything on the typewriter, and then hired the mandub. It was an Iraqi mandub. And then the first inspector and the second inspector, and the curves start going up, months by months. At that time, the market in Kuwait was dominated by 2 companies, Kremenko for NDT, and unfortunately NDT CCS. They were dominating the Kuwait market from 1976 onwards to 1980 until Interact started. So by 83, 84, we start getting a lot of work, we start having a lot of people. We finished around, by the end of 80s, we had around 80 inspectors, and we had built our offices in Ahmadi, laboratories, equipment, a fleet of equipment, and we were well equipped for and we were making a lot of money. Then the invasion of Kuwait came, the Iraqis, and they took everything, and they burned everything. They looted all our equipment. They burned our Ahmadi offices. But at that time, I was not in Kuwait. I was on a vacation with my family in Cyprus. My brother was here. So what he did, my brother, he went to Ahmadi, he brought garbage bags, it was in the ground, he made a big ditch in the ground, and he buried the 6 isotopes and the 3 crawlers, gamma crawlers, in the sand, and he covered them with the sand. Because he could not take them in his car, because they were roadblocks by the Iraqis. If they find anything in your car, they would have finished you. So after the liberation of Kuwait, I came back, and with my brother. He was working with Intrex. And we started the first 6 months, we had nothing. We uncovered the buried things. Everything was looted, dark rooms, equipment, we didn't have anything. So for the first 6 months, we worked, no salaries, nothing. We were staying in the hotel, me and him, and we started trying to find where is the people. We had around 60, 70 technicians. They left to India, and some of them, we could not find them. We started bringing the people back and start building the company again. Believe me, it was a lot of hard work, day and night. Not thinking about the money, how much we want to make to our pockets and this. We were thinking how we can build Intrex again. Until 99, we succeeded. But unfortunately, some problems started happening between me and the owner, Ahmed Sanoussi. He was taking a lot of money from the company. And he was building his villa on the beach, and his big villa in Shania, in Kuwait City, and he started taking money from the company, left and right. So I started having fights with him. Until such time, I went to him and I told him, you have no right to take money from the company account. This money, it's not yours. It's for the people, salaries, it is for the equipment, it is for the debitors, it's for so many people. We have to pay money and we have to get consumables, so we have to pay all our clients. No, I'm the owner. I said, you cannot do it. From 1 word to 2 words, we start having a fight. I told him finally, okay, there are 2 choices you have. Either I will leave the company or you will sell the company. He said, okay, you find somebody to buy the company. So I started searching in the market. I found Kharafi. They are interested. Because I was doing jobs for Kharafi National at that time. So they bought the company. And we disconnected from Sanoussi and we continued with Kharafi. Kharafi did very good things for the company. He didn't take any money from the company, and he didn't put any money in the company. He left us running on our own. So we were working day and night to make money and to succeed in the market. And believe me, when I say day and night, I can give you a lot of examples. One time, I went to the site Tuesday morning. I came back Thursday evening to my house. I slept in the dark room. I slept on the scaffolding for 3 days trying to finish the job, because we never took a job and we failed. Never Intrex took a job and we failed at any cost. If I had to stay 1 week, sometimes I stayed in Ahmadi office 1 week. I used to get dinner at 9, 10 o'clock. I used to follow with our radiographers, and I used to sleep on the couch in my office for 1 week, okay, to get the job done. A lot of backlogs. You know, our service type of company is difficult when you have radiographers, you have NDD people, you have heat treatment, and it is service company, it's very difficult to run. But when you are determined, and when you are honest and decent and doing hard work, nothing will stop you. Until such day, Kharafi National, the main company of Kharafi Group, start going down the drain. Okay, they have 30,000 employees. Intrex were flourishing, we were doing good and getting a lot of money, so I was afraid for the company. So I took an appointment and I went to Lu'ay Kharafi, the owner, directly to himself. I told him, what's going to happen to us? He told me, we might probably sell the company. I told him, you have to take my approval. He said, how I will take your approval? I said, yes, you have to take my approval. He said, I'm the owner. I said, okay. Companies are not table and chairs. Companies are people. We have almost 400, 500, 700 people. At that time, we were around 1,200 people. I said, you cannot just like this tell me I want to sell. He told me, okay, then you sell the company. I'll give you the full authority to find somebody who can buy the company. So you can save the company from Kharafi Group. So first company contacted me is Agility. We had about 6 months negotiation. They gave a price. I rejected the price. The second company contacted me Al Ghanim International, they were interested. But they didn't take the matter further in that respect. So then, NDT-CCS came to the picture. It was, to tell you honestly, the best thing that happened to Intrex that NDT-CCS bought the company, because there are similarities in our business. We do the same job, we talk the same language. Whatever we say, they understand. They are not coming like an investment company or like a trading company, buying the company, only interested in the money. They are interested in company growth, how we can move forward. And NDT-CCS as a company, I know their history from '76. Okay, during the 80s, I fought them a lot because they were my main competitor. But I managed to succeed in the 80s. So I was 100% convinced of the purchase. So I told Duai, NDT-CCS is interested. And the negotiation, it took almost 1.5 years until we finalized the deal, and then everything went smooth. Now, the third thing that happened, in 2019, we were doing great, the company, Intrex. We had a lot of projects, 2016, 2017, 2018. 2019, our employees were around 1,200. But we were hit with the corona in 2020. For me, the corona crisis was harder than the liberation of Kuwait and invasion of Kuwait. It was much harder because the things I have to face, I don't know what to say. People were dying left and right. And people were, if you are corona, they will throw you in the hospital and nobody can see you from your family. So we had to take a hard decision. But NDT-CCS support me from Saudi Arabia. In every decision I took, they supported me 100%. For example, 220, 221, in the middle of the crisis, the only company in Kuwait who was paying the salaries every month while the people were sleeping at home. I am one of them, sleeping at home, not going to the office. We were working on faxes and telephones from the houses. We were paying the salaries in full. Plus, we paid the bonus in 220 and 221. A lot of companies in Kuwait, they didn't get their salaries. A lot of companies in Kuwait, they sent employees for unpaid leave. Or even they kept their employees in Kuwait without salary. But NDT-CCS, Morgan and Junaid and Mahmoud supported me in every decision. And we didn't deduct a single penny from our employees. This has to be addressed and it has to be noted by our people. All of you guys, from HODs to managers, to supervisors, to secretary, they know these facts. Because all of you got your bonus and your salaries during the crisis. Okay? But unfortunately, 2021, 22, 23, the government in Kuwait decided not to release any project. So we didn't have any construction project, any oil and gas projects, any power plant projects, any pipelines, only small maintenance projects. So our revenues start going down during this time. But still, we maintain a reasonable profitability. We have reduced a lot of our people, reduced a lot of our overhead, trying to keep up with the new situation. So now, my turn comes, Fadi. You know, in the 80s, most of my friends who worked with me in the 80s, they are now upstairs. They are still wondering, is Fadi still in Intrex? So, I don't know what to tell them. Yes, I'm still in Intrex. I will remain in Intrex also. And all my life, not now, for the future. As long as I'm breathing, I will stay with Intrex. I will help Intrex, I will support Intrex, I will support Intrex. If I don't come to the office, from my house, from my telephone, everything will stay the same. Whenever it's needed by Yazid, I will come. There is no problem. I will give Yazid 100% support. Now, Yazid comes to the picture. I needed somebody who can replace me in the day-to-day operation and to run the office. So, Yazid was the proper candidates for the company. I know Yazid, I know he's qualified, He comes from the same school as we have, as me and Morgan and all the other guys. He understands the business. He running the business in Abu Dhabi. He has 300, 400 people, 400, 500 people. He's very successful in the business. He's a gentleman, and I know him personally. So Yazid was recommended to the job. And how he's been now for the last 3-4 months coming, getting to know everybody. I think he met all of you guys one by one, and he will be running the show. And believe me, he's good, decent, hard work. But you have to understand something. The last 4 or 5 years, most of you, they came to me demanding increments, demanding to bring this, do that for us, and I refused. I couldn't do it for you. But yet, when you go now to Yazid and tell him, I want this, I want that, he doesn't have the magic wand in his hand. So you might get an answer that it cannot be done now, maybe later, because there is no work. The work we have is limited. So don't expect everything yes. And don't think if he said no, that he's not good, Fadi was better. Think about Fadi the last 4 years. Everything is no. No, I cannot do that. I cannot give you that. So, because I know what work we have. I know what crisis we have. What's waiting for us. Most of you guys now, being 25 years in the company, 20 years, 24 years, 18 years, you are hardworking guys. I really appreciate. We are one family. And all of you, I can name so many guys. I will start, not Alex, Anoop, James Verghese, Pradeep, Joby, Abdurrahman, Mish'al, who never say no to Fadi, anything he asked for. The things even he cannot do, he always say yes, Fadi. And all of you guys, I have experience with you in so many years that you have never said no to me, and you stood by me. Okay, Sophie, Jyoti, who comes to the work at 7 o'clock, leave at 4 o'clock, and never leave their office, always working hard. Badr, Khalid, Muhammad Gad, who else? Marta, Jacob Baby, Sylvan, Viral, all these people, Sham, Sunu, all these people who are, they work very hard, and they never say no to me when it comes to work. And I can tell you some stories. For example, Santosh, I will take Santosh. In the old days, we were doing radiography in the north, and we had around 2,000 joint backlog. I called Santosh to my office. We had 2 teams working there that were making 40, 50 joints every day, and 2,000 joints. So I told Santosh, you have to solve the problem for me, Santosh. He told me what I have to do. I told him, take your pyjama and go there. For 1 week, 2 weeks, you sleep in the dark room. He went there, and he was alone doing 80, 90 joints every day and sleeping in the dark room. Until 10 days, he cleared all the backlog for me. I can give you example, our Marta. We had our crawler broke down, and we have 40-inch pipeline. And the contractor, we have almost 300-400 joint backlog on the pipeline. And the contractor wanted to bring another company. I called Marta, what we have to do? He said, don't worry, sir, I'll make a trolley. And we'll go inside the pipe, put the source, and we'll come out, and we will do the job. And we were doing the job from outside and inside until we fixed the crawler. We stayed 1 week in my office, me and the other guys, trying to fix the crawler. It was about a chain broken, we couldn't find the chain. And to bring it from outside, it was at that time Christmas holidays and everything closed. So I had to go to the market for 3-4 days, roaming in Kuwait City until I found the same chain in one specific shop. So these type of people, which we have, Anoop, Santosh, Viral, Martai, they kill, when I ask them to do the job, they will do it. Especially also the account people, they work sometimes 14, 16 hours. Joby and all the other people, Rahman, the people, I can tell you stories about our guys. So guys, I have one request from you. Please try to honor this request. I need all of you to support Yazid to succeed in his mission. To give him full support, the same they gave me. And when he says no, you have to respect that he cannot do it. Not because he knows what jobs we have. He knows, for example, Sophie, she knows what's coming in and what's going out. And she knows sometimes we struggle every month to achieve the 90% of the target or 80% of the target. Because there is no work. One only single project last year it came, which is called Patent 11. This project, it was divided into 4 projects, and 4 companies got the work. Out of 18 NDT companies in Kuwait, Intrex, we got the 4 projects from the 4 different NDT companies. And we are doing this project until up to date. So you can imagine, when we target something, Intrex will get it. Of course, the competition in the market is very fierce and very bad. So we have to reduce our prices to maintain stability in our work. That's why we cannot give sometimes what you ask for. Because we are reducing our prices, revision after revision after revision. 18 companies, NDT companies, or 15 or 16 or 14, they are sitting in the market and they are hitting us with their silly prices. But we have to survive. To survive, we cannot say no. To anything, we cannot say. My policy, all my life, my policy, no, this is the word no, I will keep reducing the price to get the job. I will never say no to any job. The client asked me one time to reduce, I will reduce. Only last week, they have submitted a petition for 80 current. Vera submitted the petition. The client called me directly. Fadi, you are on the high side. You are number 3. So what do we have to do? I said, reduce the price. I said, if I reduce the price, you will give me the job? He said, definitely. So I called Vera. Vera reduced the price. Then I called the client again. He told me, you are still number 2. I said, give us the job. He said, okay. Because you insist, I will give you. So they issued a purchase order for us. So this is the problem now in the present market. Alex, he knows, he's aware what's happening in the market. He knows that when he submits a quotation, he do 1 revision, 2nd revision, 3rd revision to get the job. And now the chance for the client to squeeze us, because they know there is no other jobs in the market. So that's why when Yazid tells you no, we cannot, when he has to control the expenses, you have to understand. He has to look on every expense in the company, from transportation to consumables to purchasing of equipment to hiring of cars and all these things. He has to study and he has to look, and who has to get the best prices for the company to reduce our overhead, because the overhead is very important. Okay? We have to survive until 25, middle of 25 onward. There is a lot of projects coming in Kuwait. So 26, 27, 28, 29, the company will be very busy. We have all the equipment needed. We have all the qualified manpower available. We have the infrastructure. We have everything to do any size of project, any type of projects we have to do it. So Yazid is qualified to do that, but you have to help him and you have to promise me. You have to help him and you have to support him. And you have to understand the word no, it doesn't mean that he's not good. No, because there are circumstances which you understand. Everybody from you understand the situation. Everybody knows. You know that most of the company now in Kuwait, they are not paying salaries on time. You know how much we are suffering for collection. Personally, I'm suffering. A big company, a huge company, have 3,000 employees, contractors. If you see their offices, I go to their offices, oh my God, it's like a ministry offices, okay? It took them 1 year to pay us 4,000 KD bill, installment. Big companies, like, I don't want to mention the names, it's not good to mention. Big, huge contracting companies, we want from them 140,000. Every 2 months they are paying us. For the last 2 years, we are begging them. They are paying us 10,000 every 2-3 months. How much we are suffering to collect this 10,000? Installment. And they have projects in million, and they cannot pay us our 140,000. They are giving us in installments. So doing the job for you guys, it's easy. But for us, getting the job and collecting of the money, this is the worst nightmare for us. For me, for Surish, for Alex, for Yazid, for Abdurrahman, because we have salaries to ensure every month. Now, today we are the 13th of the month. These last 13 days, Alex knows. I have to work with Suresh from my house. I'm working on daily basis, making almost 20, 25 telephones every day. We have managed to collect until now 96,000 KD to ensure that we will get the salaries for January. Still, we have 17 days till the end of the month. We hope to achieve more. But it needs daily telephones, daily follow-up, daily going to the client, the same client. Okay, come tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be ready. We go tomorrow or not tomorrow, after tomorrow. And it goes going on, day after day after day. And you have to understand this. And I think it's taking too long, my speech. Anyway, I almost finished. So once again, we need, NDT, CCS, and Intrex, they have made a Catholic marriage. You know what a Catholic marriage? So we are one company, okay? Everybody have to understand this. Okay, two different names, but we are the same company. Whether it's in Saudi Arabia or in Kuwait, we are one company. And because of NDT CCS, we managed to continue. If we were a state under Kharafi, the same scenario what happened to Kharafi National, it could have happened to us. Thank God that now we are under the umbrella of NDT CCS. They are a good company, old company, financially strong. Your due rights are well protected, so you don't have to worry about your due rights. You have seen the KOC people, almost 400 people we have terminated last year, and we paid their due right before we get the money from KOC. We have paid almost around 800,000 KD for all these people before we got our money from KOC. So you can see how much Intrex is strong. We don't have any debits in the banks. We are financially strong, supported by NDT CCS. And please give, once again, a full support and loyalty to Yazid and to NDT CCS. Thank you very much.